Almost 2 years since this controversial video surfaced, showing Franklin County, Vermont Sheriff John Grismore kicking an inmate, and now he's set to go to trial.
Grismore was a deputy at the time, and he was charged with assault after the video surfaced showing him kicking a man in handcuffs multiple times.
Initially, as Deputy Sheriff Grismore was placed on administrative leave and state police launched a criminal investigation. That video came out the day after Grismore won the Republican primary to run for sheriff the following November. Just 1 month before that election, Grismore was charged with simple assault, but he still went on to win the sheriff's seat. Now, Vermont law does allow the state to impeach a sheriff. So in May of 2023, the legislature formed a special impeachment committee for the first time in 50 years. They ultimately decided not to impeach Grismore, but encouraged him to step down. Then in December, the Vermont Criminal Justice Council revoked Grismore's law enforcement license, taking away his ability to make arrests and making his position as sheriff more symbolic than anything. Finally, just over a week ago, the Grand Isle State's attorney announced a jury has been selected in the trial against Sheriff Grismore. Back in April, when we spoke to the Franklin County Sheriff, he told us he was tremendously...
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really do appreciate it. Oh goodness, what did you think about old Sheriff Grismore? Okay, that hollow-headed goofball has no policing powers. He's on trial and he'll probably get acquitted, and next thing you know, he'll get voted back in. Anyways, okay, so nothing you can do about it when the people keep voting in jerks like that. But in this next case, these are just your typical flatfoots, and there's still nothing you can do about them either.
Bad news. What? We got the wrong guy.
Dude, shut the up, Chevy.
I swear. He is Darnell McLeod, and it was Darnell Smith.
This is body cam video of Fremont police officers going into Darnell McLeod's restaurant, arresting him.
I got some bad news for you. You have a warrant for your arrest.
For what?
For drug trafficking.
Officers go behind the counter and handcuff the man. In the video, you can hear the officer call him by his first name.
You have a warrant, Darnell.
13 Action News reviewed multiple body cam videos, and the officers never asked for the man's last name.
They didn't ask for ID. They didn't ask for they didn't ask for my name.
Police walked the man out of the restaurant in front of all of his customers. He was outraged and asked to see the warrant.
What am I getting locked up for? What did y'all show me?
It's for the county. The county's going to serve it to you at the jail.
McLeod fought back tears as he watched the body cam with me.
You know, I haven't did nothing. I worked for over 5 years here in Fremont. You know, so I haven't did nothing. And then for that to, for them to come in there and say I had 2 F1s for drug trafficking, especially in front of all my customers, it just surprised me.
Show me the warrant.
McLeod was never booked in the jail. A Sandusky County jail employee realized Fremont police had the wrong guy after she called him Mr. Smith, the name of the suspect who was supposed to be arrested.
My name ain't Mr. Smith.
What's your whole name?
My name is Mr. McLeod, bro. My name is Darnell McLeod.
Okay, he gave me the wrong name.
The jail employee goes to check with the officer who transported McLeod to the jail and asks for the sheet with the suspect's information.
He said that's not his name.
He's not Darnell Smith?
No, it's not.
The officer gets in the car to check McLeod's date of birth and social security number. He calls his boss. His supervisor tells him you have to let him go. The officer walks in the jail to talk to the innocent man.
He said his lieutenant told him, or sergeant or whatever, told him to give me a ride back wherever to my restaurant.
McLeod told the officer he'd rather walk and starts to cry.
A couple of officials called me and have been very apologetic about the situation. They've been very apologetic. They haven't said, you know they have told me several times that they know they messed up, which I appreciate, you know. But at the same time, I think somebody should be held accountable.
Fremont's police chief has declined to comment because of the investigation.
Well, it's true. Those cops, I would say they traumatized Darnell. And when they come into his store now, he's always going to be, you know, palpitating when they come into a store. But just imagine in this next story, this little autistic kid that they traumatized as they throw the dad to the ground and cuff him for no reason whatsoever, of course. Well, just think about this. This little kid, he wanted to be a cop.
A Watonga man says he had his rights violated by local police and says he has the video to prove it.
John Sexton tells me it was a morning like most others. He was just taking a walk with his son early around 6 a.m. Everything abruptly changed. He was detained. I have the officers' documents right here over what they say happened. They said it was suspicious. OSBI is now investigating over whether or not that was true, over whether this was justified. But Sexton says what he knows for sure is that his son hasn't been the same since.
Hey, how you doing today?
You're watching body cam video from a Watonga police officer who stopped this man, John Sexton, and his son in the early morning of July 4th.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Johnny.
It all started after officers say they saw the pair leaving an alleyway.
Found it a little bit suspicious, you know, so just walking around.
Walking around is a little bit suspicious?
I mean,
go ahead.
Technically, not really, but I mean, it is pretty early in the morning.
It was just before 6 a.m., around when Sexton says he and his son, who lives with autism, typically walk outside.
You've been walking around down here at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we do that.
No, you're not. Give me your ID.
When Sexton didn't give the officer his ID,
I'm going to take you to jail for failure to identify.
But Sexton says it wasn't on him.
Give me your ID.
I don't have my ID on me because it's at the house.
The situation escalated all the way to this.
I want this on video. What are you doing to my bro? This is up.
All while Sexton's son watched and wailed. The officer then brings Sexton to his patrol car.
Shut up and listen just a minute. We had reasonable enough suspicion to identify you. And
what was I being detained for?
Criminal, like we don't know what's going on, but we can call it criminal activity.
But he's eventually let go. Sexton says his son has not been the same since.
He's been a cop for Halloween for the last 2 years. That's what he's been wanting to be when he grows up. That's what he says, and now he's scared of him.
I do have the names of the officers that were involved in this incident, but we aren't releasing them right now because they haven't been formally charged with anything. I also reached out to Watonga Police. I did speak on the phone with the police chief, and she said no comment in relation to this
We are
incident.
seeing brand new video. It shows the moment a Douglas County deputy shot a man. Investigators say that man was speeding and wouldn't stop, but tonight his attorney says this was a case of police brutality, and he spoke only with Atlanta News First Bridget Spencer. Bridget joining us live tonight where it all happened in Lithia Springs. Bridget, this man now saying his client did not deserve to be shot.
Savannah, and they are promising that a lawsuit is on the way. Now, this is the exact area where Cameron Hunt flipped over into a ditch after a chase back in November of 2023, but he was shot before getting out of the car. Body camera footage shows the night 36-year-old Cameron Hunt was shot by a Douglas County deputy in Lithia Springs. It all started when deputies say Hunt was speeding down I-20.
Boy, watch out, he's in your lane. I'm gonna bump you pretty fast.
This was not a high-speed pursuit. I mean, this entire incident occurred between two exits on the highway. Not safely driving, but certainly not in a way where he deserved to be shot.
His attorney, Graham Schofield, says once Hunt realized he was getting pulled over, he tried to find a well-lit area, but ended up crashing in a ditch near a hotel and eventually getting shot by an officer.
Show me your hand! Why you shoot?
The supervising officer, who was also there on the scene, he immediately exclaims this guttural response, "Why did you shoot him?" A Douglas County Sheriff's deputy who had recently joined the force shot my client, Mr. Hunt, in cold blood.
You can see on the body camera footage Hunt showing his hands between the airbags.
I don't know if there's a gun involved. It was empty hands.
He survived, but his family says not without emotional and physical scars.
The bullet went through his chest. To this day, it's lodged within an inch of his heart. The white deputy and an African-American young man that was shot.
Schofield says the deputy who shot him is still on the force, and Hunt is sitting in jail right now.
They have pressed all these charges against him to try and cover up their own abuses.
We asked the Douglas County Sheriff's Office if that deputy is still employed. They replied to us saying no comment.
I think we'll make today's Bad Apple Report a short report. All of the cops that I had in line to read about, you wouldn't believe it, they're all diddlers. It's like the week of the diddlers. Truly, 4 or 5 of them, they're everywhere. It's like, I just can't read it. It make me sick. Anyway, so we're going to call it a day, and I'm going to whip up another batch of bad apples for you tomorrow, and hopefully we won't have any diddlers, and I can just have a nice, long, fun, funny Bad Apple report. But for now, we're going to call it a day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. Have a good one, folks.